Hello, my little jolts. It is me, back again to review again. And today, we have a goodie for you today, my jolts. Today we're doing Owl House Season 2. Ooh, it was all inverted for you, but you get the gesture. Anyways, actually, probably better if you saw it from... Nope. Still inverted. Oh well. Anyways, yeah. I'll be talking about Season 2 because I already covered Seasons 1 and 3. So I only gotta talk about Season 2 now. Alright. Before I begin, a spoiler warning is obviously in order. And to make sure you don't follow my videos as gospel and have your own opinions. And hey, yeah. Soon I'll be planning a review of Amphibia's 3 seasons, which means I'll have to rewatch pretty much all of Amphibia compared to what I had to watch for Owl House's seasons. So, yeah. I just watched the ones I hadn't seen in a while. Same thing with Season 1. Alright. To avoid making a 2-part video, again, we're gonna hop right into this one with Season 2, Episode 1, Separate Tides. So it starts with us catching up with Luz making a video talking about her life and how she's now a bounty hunter because she's broke because since the portal's broken, they have no source of income. Despite the fact that Ida was running a potions business, but apparently that got canned because I assume it's because she ran out of magic, because she just doesn't have magic anymore, so she can't get the materials as well. But I mean, I refuse to believe that stopped her. That would have stopped her because she has Luz. So it's a little weird, but what are you gonna do? Sorry. Yeah. In this episode, we are introduced to the boat crew. I'm not fully certain on their names, but we are also introduced to the Golden God, which is basically going to be the Lilith of the season. You know, the reoccurring character, the reoccurring villain / reformed, like, good guy by the end of the season. So you know, we needed another Lilith. So we got another Lilith. That's what we got out of that. So it's all good, boys. All right, Season 2, Episode 2. I should just get the remote with me. Actually, I should just do that. I did that last time. Season 2, Episode 2 is Escaping Expulsion. Basically, what happens is that Amity's parents break into the school and forcefully get Luz, Gus, and Willow expelled because Amity is focusing too much on her friends than actual schoolwork because they're bad parents and they don't care about her. So, yeah, our the OG trio of friends get expelled and then they have to get back into school. Luz ends up becoming a crash test dummy for the Blight Industries' variety of very, very dangerous weapons, including rocket launchers, grenade launchers, quad launchers, which is just a rocket launcher with like 4 barrels. And there's like that one in Fortnite did like 80 damage. It wasn't all that good. Anyways, yeah, this is the first episode which blossoms the Lumiere romance between both parties. So it's fun. We'll get to that storyline in a couple of in like 10 minutes. Who am I kidding? I talk about these episodes so slowly. What's the next episode there? Next episode is Echoes of the Past. Ooh, yes. Fun. It's not really all that important, but I still want to cover it anyways, because why not? So, yeah. King's on his usual shtick. Oh, I was a king of demons. I was born in a tower somewhere. So they go to said tower to call him out on his garbage. And long story short, his garbage is called out. And he doesn't know what is real and what's fake anymore. That's fun. All I know is that he was someone worth guarding with these flesh monsters. So, that'll probably come up later. Probably. Episode 4. Keeping Up Appearances. This is one episode that I find quite interesting because it's the introduction of a very interesting man. A man by the name of Philip Whitbane. This is the first time he's mentioned, not by name, but by character. Or at least he's alluded that it's Philip Whitbane that they mention. And I find that quite interesting. So basically, Ida's mom shows up. She gets launched out. One of my favorite stills of the entire show is when Luz and Lilith react to Edith just saying goodbye to her mother. Just launches her off of her broom, launches her off away with her broom. It's funny. What's even funnier is, the reaction that Luz and Lilith have. It's just like jaws dropped, minds deteriorated. It's hilarious. I love it. Fun. So, after that, Luz and Gwendolyn try to cure Ida's curse. Long story short, it fails. Lilith also loses control and goes into the raven beast, because it's not an owl beast, it's more like a raven beast. It's only shown up once in season 3 in the end credit scene. So, and it's not even at that point, it's like the Falcon mode or whatever. But this beast only shows up. The Lilith's beast only shows up once in the show, so it's all fine. But I think it's a pretty solid episode personally. Next up is Through the Looking Glass Ruins. And this one, I ended up watching it twice because I passed out the first time I tried watching this. Because I was watching it last night, despite spending 7-8 hours watching the entirety of season 1. Well, not the entirety, but you get the point. But so I ended up watching the second half of this episode twice. And it is a shame. This episode is... I feel bad for this episode because the whole... the A plot of this episode is really interesting. It's about Gus getting manipulated and all that jazz. It's a Gus story of which we get very little, and of the 2 Gus stories we get, episode 5 and episode 18, Labyrinth Runners, I'll get to that in about 20 minutes probably. Words. Yes, right. So, they go find these Golder Stones, which basically powers up magic across the board. But illusionists can't use it, so they see that it's being guarded by an illusionist. Not a great plan, because how are they going to stop someone from just stealing the Golder Stones? It's just an illusion. They know it's just an illusion. There's not really a whole lot they can do. So I don't know, man. But people mainly like to focus on the B part of this episode, which is Luz and Amity try to take Philip Whitbane's diary from the restricted stacks, which is basically the restricted section of the library. It's a shame that people focus on that more than anything, because the entire episode's interesting, and I've grown a new appreciation for this while watching all these episodes. I can't remember if anything similar happened in season 1. I'd have to look through it to get a confirmation. I'll tell you later. But it's a real shame because the A plot's really interesting, and the B plot's also, it's less interesting, but it's still pretty interesting. But the B plot is usually what people remember from this episode because of the whole the ending part of the episode, literally the ending part of the episode. I didn't think the episode ended this way, but no, it ends with the kiss part. So I just found that kind of interesting. But yeah, no, overall it's a very solid episode. Anyways, episode 6 is Hunting Palisman, where we got Luz and Golden Guard, and we get a name drop for the Golden Guard, so now we can call him Hunter. And we meet Flapjack and all the other, and everyone gets a Palisman except for Luz. She gets hers in season 3, episode 2, and hers is overpowered. Like, she would mop the floor, like wipe the floor with every other Palisman. Hell, her Palisman alone makes her like top 3 in her group alone. Of 6. Because I don't think... Well, actually, no, it would probably make her... Honestly, probably the strongest in her entire group now with just that Palisman power. You know, it would... Because, actually, I should have mentioned this, but like... No, this is an argument for another day. Alright, anyways. Everyone gets their Palisman. They get trapped in Latissa. We see a whole new town. It's actually a really cool town. I think that's where Glandis is. Maybe set in Epiderm, but I'm guessing Glandis, but we never figure out. But yeah, we learned that Hunter's kind of a nerd. You know, a fucking nerd. But hey. You know, it's all good and dandy. Oh, crap. I apologize about that. My phone's just low. Alright, so as I cut away from that, we'll cut to episode 7, Ido's Requiem. You know, the really good music, you know. I'm gonna stop. Because I'm getting a copyright, probably. Maybe. I don't know. But, yeah, Ido's Requiem was also another episode that I actually found quite nice, that I actually quite liked after rewatching it. The same thing happens here that happened with episode 5. Like, the A plot and the B plot are really good. They may not, like, gel together really well. Actually, they do in this one especially. But actually, both of them really work well. But I just really like both the A plot and the B plot in this. So, yeah. I mean, the B plot's fine. I like it. Like, it makes sense for it to be a B plot compared to the A plot, but it's not as good, and it kind of ends in like a really not stupid, but it kind of ends in a really disappointing way, because I feel like there was a really easy way to have them win the thing. Instead of just having King vomit, just have him vomit and maybe graze her feet. It wouldn't have caused them to crash and get 5th out of 6. It was pathetically sad seeing how awful they did. It was pathetic. It was sad. It wasn't even fun. But hey, next up is knocking on Hootie's door. The famous episode, famous for us getting 3 power-ups for 3 characters. This is probably the best way you introduce new powers for people. I mean, Luz didn't really get a power, so I say she got like a power-up because she now has a girlfriend. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, the episode starts off with King and him going for puberty, which is actually a really cool way, I think, of him getting his powers. But like, eventually, they go through like this whole like test of like, what kind of demon are you? They start off with like some dancing thing to determine whether he was like a bird demon or whatever. One type of demon. Goes horribly wrong. He makes fun of Hootie's mother at one point, and I find it really funny. Yes, it's a misunderstanding, but like, it's still really funny because Hootie's reaction is just so over the top. Like, what, you don't talk about my mother like that. I just find it really funny. Then next it's like a second type where it's like magic. It's like, can you do magic? And that also goes horribly wrong. He can't do a single bit of magic. And then it's like a beast demon, I think was the last type. So they didn't just take a DNA sample. So it comes back, finds out. They don't know what the hell he is. And you know, he's just himself. And it's just like he wants outside. And then just sends this huge like shockwave around the entire place, destroying like the entire area, like all of the decorations up there and everything. So now King has the equivalent of Danny Phantom's ghostly whale. So fun. Next, we move on to Ida, and she gets knocked out. So she has a whole dream, go through all of her past. It's actually really nice because we get to delve more into her backstory a bit more compared to like what we have been thusly introduced to. We get to just go a little bit further into something, and especially we get to go a little bit further into one of the scenes from Ida's Requiem, one of the flashbacks from Ida's Requiem, and it like explains what they did that day, which was break up. Fun. But anyways, eventually the Ida and the owl beast come to terms, and then they make a harpy Ida form. That will get explored more in the next episode, because they don't really do much with it. Then Luz. Her original idea for the day was to work with the Echo Mouse. And by that I mean, just figure out how to ask Amity out. Yeah. That's the plan. That's her plan. That's what she plays in this episode. And thus Hootie decides, hey, I'm going to kidnap Amity and make a tunnel of love. So that's what he does, and I had to hold myself back from watching that scene because I've always had this weird problem with me where it's just like I always like feel like I always put myself in their shoes, and whenever something really like I hate saying this word, but like something really cringy happens, I always just like mentally just want to die. I just want to just like and then just die right there on the spot, which is why I couldn't. No, that's not really the reason why I couldn't stand season 1, episode 8. It's just why I couldn't stand this one part of season 2, episode 8. It's still a very good episode overall, and it ends really well with Luz gets the girl. But yeah, I think overall it's a really good episode. Episode 9. Eclipse Lake. So, after Amity does a perimeter check and makes sure nobody disturbs sick Luz after she gets the common mold. Yeah, I refuse to believe the mold is common when the things it does are as hugely dead serious as they are. You know, she's hallucinating. She's just going slightly crazy. And then when that all clears up, then there's another side effect where she just grows spores on her head. I mean, I wouldn't really call them fun guys, but I mean they were trying to be fun guys, but I wouldn't really call them fun guys. But hey, whatever. But anyways, this is where one of the best fights in the show takes place in this episode between Amity and Hunter. Because Hunter decides, hey, I'm going to get some Titan's blood from Eclipse Lake for Kikimora. Kikimora is there because she wants the Titan's blood from Eclipse Lake. Amity and Ida are there because they want Titan's blood from Eclipse Lake. Nobody gets what they want, except for Hunter. Because there was Titan's blood in the key for the portal. So yeah, but some of the Titan blood's got on Amity's glove, so they just took it, pinned it to a wall, and called it a day. But anyways, yeah, no, the fight's really good. The entire build-up for the entire episode's really good. It's quite a good episode. Now, time to talk about a doozy. Season 2, Episode 10, Yesterday's Lie. I do believe that's what it's called, right? Yes. Season 2, Episode 10, Yesterday's Lie. So it starts out with Ida, Luz, and King finally building the portal. Somehow, this is never brought up prior, but apparently they built the portal. That works. So, they go in the in-between that we learn that's what the place is called in Season 3, Episode 3, Watching and Dreaming, which, spoiler alert for Season 3, but I made the season 3 videos first, but still, spoiler alert. That I'm a little confused now with future context, because in that episode, that is where people are dead, right? Like, it's the in between. It's where people die. That's where dead people go. The Titan should have been there because he hadn't left and he'd been watching the adventures the entire time. The Titan should have been there because he's there in season 3. So why isn't he there in season 2? That's what I'm curious about. But I mean, hey, that plot hole aside, it's still really good, that whole part. So, you know, she checks up on Ida and King. That's all good. She mentions Amity, but it's like, no, I have work to do. So she goes sees her mother through reflections, because the whole thing of the in-between is that you can go see things through the reflections of, like, mirrors and windows and, like, little pocket mirrors, like a compass looking thing, but with like a mirror instead of a compass. That thing, it's like a pocket mirror, I think. So yeah, and phones. So she goes into the house. She goes into one of the reflections of the house. She sees Camila Noceda, you know, just vibing. And then V shows up, still disguised as Luz, after dumping away her Azura book. He. Because of course. Yeah, it's been 20 minutes and we're only halfway through. I'm gonna have to pick up the pace. Actually, we're not even halfway through yet. Oh boy, I'm gonna really pick up the pace. So V and Luz go and try to get V some more magic so she can transform again. They get kidnapped by... V gets captured by library curator that is voiced by Roger Craig Smith for whatever reason, or at least it sounds like he's voiced by Roger Craig Smith. I haven't really looked into it. Don't take my word on for that one. So Luz has to convince Camila to go rescue V, and when she starts believing everything, Camila makes Luz promise never to go back, and when she comes back, to permanently stay there. So yeah, she promises, and she gets pulled away by Ida and King and Hootie because the portal was closing. Alright, next episode. Follies at the Covenant Parade. Follies at the Covenant Parade starts out with Luz and Co. at school. Amity starts... This is where the nickname Batata starts rising, which is sweet potato. And that is basically Luz's nickname to Amity for, like, the rest of the season. And I think a bit more, but yeah. So, yeah. Kisses exchanged. Luz forgets her phone because she had filmed a video prior. Filmed a video for her mother, talking about, oh, hey, the Demon Realm's not that bad. It's fine. I'm fine to come back. The video goes horribly wrong. But, hey, what are you gonna do? You can't just predict that Hootie's going to take off his skin. But, hey, what are you gonna do about that one? Yeah, then there's a Coven Day parade, and Kikimori's wrapped in it because she wants to go see her family, but she also can't leave or else she'll lose her job, and she'll get banished. So, yeah, fun times. Rain was captured back at Edith's Requiem, and now he's acting weird, so they had to do all that. Long story short, Rain's been brainwashed. Kikimori betrayed them and tried to kill them. Terra Snapdragon saves them indiscriminately, technically speaking. Technically saves them by just getting rid of Kikimori, and everything goes to crap. Basically, nothing goes according to plan, and yay. And Luz explains what happened in yesterday's lie to Amity. And she had already told Ida, King, and Hootie what happened. But yeah. Alright, that's episode 11. Oh boy. Episode 12. Elsewhere and Elsewhen. Luz and Lilith go find some time portals in which they meet Philip Whitbane. Studying his journal for so long, they decide to just talk to the man himself. But they can't reveal that they are, in fact, from the future. So they have to make themselves their own names, which are Luzura and Aunt Gertrude. And then they end up getting tricked into being sacrifices for Philip so that he can pick up the collector and dip. He does, technically speaking, he technically does dip, but he gets punched in the face by Gertrude, or Lilith in this case. So they happily leave, and Lilith Ida has a depressing talk with her father after completely messing him up with the with the owl beast form, as we had seen in episode 8. Knock on whose door. So yeah, fun. I think it's a pretty good episode though overall. Any sport and storm. Starts out with a club fair. Luz and Amity buzz off to go meet Mildred Feathervane. I think Mildred Feathervane, or whatever her name is, really confusing and sounds really fantasy sci-fi novel. But hey, what are you gonna do? So yeah. So while they're doing that, Willow organizes a grudge bee team with Gus, Scara, Hunter, Viney. So the 5 of them make a grudge bee, aka flyer derby team, and they go up against some teacher, a bunch of other abomination track students, and Willow's team mops the floor with them, and then they become the Emerald Entrails. Hunter betrays them to the Emperor's Coven, because of course, and then betrays Darius to protect them because he had grown attached to them. Fun. So, end of the day, everyone walks free, and Hunter is befriended by Darius. Not Everwolf yet, but it's fine. We'll get to that in a little bit. Next episode 14, Reaching Out. It starts out with Amity wanted to go into the Bonesboro Brawl instead of the Emperor's Coven tryouts, but Eleanor was like, no, you're going to the Emperor's Coven tryouts. So, yeah. So she sneaks off with the help of Abomination Voice Changer. For whatever reason, it makes about as much sense as a Ghostface voice changer, like the original one, or like the Scream 3 one, but whatever. It is really dumb, but it works. It's a funny payoff later on in the episode, but yeah. So they sneak off to the Bonesboro Brawl with a disguise so that they aren't recognized. And so, yeah, so Luz decides to tag along because, oh, right, yeah, it's also the anniversary of her father's death. A family picture. So, yeah, Luz is in a lot of stress and wants to take her mind off of the fact that her father had died that very day. Why you set up why you kept that calendar event ticking was a good question, and not just saved it until you got back. You know what I mean? I apologize about that. It's 9:11 p.m. Whoopsies, that is really unfortunate timing. Anyways, yeah, so Amity signs up, and then Luz signs up last minute. They kick butt in the Bonesboro Brawl until Amity ends up fighting Warden Wrath, but then Aldor shows up, one-shots Warden Wrath, gets a second belt, but he doesn't, but discards it because he doesn't want the second belt, and tells Amity to leave because no, you're going to, if you beg, we can maybe go to the next one. So, yeah. After that, my memory gets a little bit fuzzy of the events in the order they take place, but anyways, Edric and Ida were making a blabber potion for Warden Wrath, so that was the B-plot of the episode. So, yeah. However, Edric messes up the potion and makes it into a transformation potion, which makes him giant. And so Luz, being the weirdly cynical badass that she is, decides, I got this, and then just dumps some snow on him. Anyways, Amity tells Alador that she doesn't want to be in the Emperor's Coven anymore, and then that Alador actually recognizes that the hair is actually abomination color. Bonding. And instead of hugging it out, they handshake it out. It is absolutely gut wrenching how that happens. But anyways, Amity feels kind of betrayed by Luz because she lied about not messing with the abomination after it came back, after it found a very specific emerald dagger from the black market. Because yes, crap! I only have a couple minutes left, and we aren't even close. But yeah, that's about the stretch of the. Actually, I'm not done with the episode. After everything, Luz and Amity go get some flowers from a plant glyph, because the tradition that Luz and Camila did was during Luz's birthday, her father would always get her flowers, and then when he died, she and her mother would go pick flowers for the day and then just spend the day together. It was a fun ritual. Yeah. Episode 15, Them's the Breaks, Kid. It's a backstory about Ida and Rain goes into their first encounter. I don't really gotta mention it, so I'm not gonna bother because I'm running out of time anyways. Episode 16, Hollow Mind. Oof, God. Hollow Mind's a really interesting episode, but it's also very well talked about. It is talked about quite a fair bit. So me talking about it is redundant, but I'm gonna talk about it anyways. Hollow Mind is the episode where Luz and Hunter go through Emperor Bellus's mind, and Hunter officially leaves the Emperor's Coven. Technically speaking. He doesn't leave it, but like he's done with the Emperor's Coven after this. He doesn't go back, because he's gonna die if he does go back. So, yeah. So, while they're perusing through the Emperor's mind, Hunter learns more and more that Bellos is a bad guy. So, eventually, by the end, Bellos gets into his own mind to capture the demon part of him, and then tries to kill Hunter. Succeeds for a little bit, fake out death. Hunter goes around and just saves Luz. It's all good now. Hooray. So, yeah. That's Hollow Mind in a minute or so. I'm kidding, there's more to it, but I don't want to. I know I'm not going to be able to wrap this up in one part, but I mean, I'll see how far I can get. Alright. Episode 17 is Edge of the World. So after, I think it's episode... Nope. I think it's after... I think knocking on Hootie's door, I think. One of the Titan trappers leaves a message